Hello guys, welcome back to LR Anime. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Renegade Immortal Part 268 to 269 based on novel. So let's start. Wang Lin's expression was still cold as he instantly closed the hundreds of feet gap and arrived next to the bubble. He coldly looked at the girl in pink and the beautiful middle-aged woman. The woman in pink's eyes were wary and the snowflake rune shined brightly. She was very nervous at this moment as she had no way of stopping Wang Lin from doing anything. The only thing she could rely on was the snowflake mark between her eyebrows. It was the life-saving treasure her senior sister had given her. Wang Lin looked at the girl and sent out a divine sense message. "Are you the brilliant void saintess?" His divine sense seemed to fuse with the magma, and a ripple echoed, causing the bubble around the girl in pink to tremble violently as if it could break at any moment. The girl in pink's face immediately turned pale. She bit her lower lip as she shook her head and said, "I'm not the brilliant void saintess, my senior sister is." Wang Lin pointed at the beautiful woman and asked, "What is your relationship with her?" "She is my elder in the brilliant void realm." The girl in pink didn't dare to not answer. If Wang Lin broke this bubble, the middle-aged woman would immediately fall into the magma. The middle-aged woman was already seriously affected by fire poison, and falling into the magma would only make it worse or cause her soul to be destroyed. "Although Master Void has harmed you, we didn't offend you." Before the girl in pink could finish speaking, her pupils shrank and she quickly retreated a few steps. The snowflake between her eyebrows began flashing. She saw that Wang Lin had already stepped through the bubble while she spoke and stood opposite of her. "Put away your treasure." Wang Lin entered the bubble and squatted down next to the beautiful middle-aged woman who was in a coma. His eyes revealed a strange light. As for girl in pink, Wang Lin didn't consider her a threat at all. Even though she had the snowflake treasure, she still wasn't a threat in Wang Lin's eyes. "What are you doing?" The girl in pink's heart pounded rapidly. When she saw Wang Lin's finger land between the beautiful middle-aged woman's eyebrows, she was going to shout at him to stop. However, just as she was about to attack, Wang Lin didn't turn around but casually pointed with his finger. Noisy. The stop spell was suddenly used and the girl in pink suddenly stopped. Although her body was stopped, the snowflakes around her split into countless more and surrounded her body, forming a tight defense. Wang Lin no longer paid any attention to the girl in pink but placed his right index finger between the eyebrows of the middle-aged woman. Taking the chance while her origin soul was weak and unconscious, his divine sense swept through her mind. The memories of the beautiful middle-aged woman appeared in Wang Lin's mind. Although her cultivation level was higher than Wang Lin's, his divine sense swept through her memories. Whether she lived or died wasn't important. Wang Lin just wanted her memories. All memories related to the brilliant void realm were important information for Wang Lin. The real reason he needed this information was due to the figure that caused him so much pain that he saw when his mind spread out across the brilliant void realm when he reached peak of the Nirvana Scrya stage. As his divine sense spread across each of her memories, Wang Lin gradually gained an understanding of the brilliant void realm, and his expression became serious. However, none of this was information he wanted to know. As he searched her memories, the beautiful middle-aged woman's body trembled and her eyelashes shook lightly. Her beautiful and mature face was flushed red and could cause anyone's heart to skip a beat. As Wang Lin searched her soul, it was obvious that it made it so she wasn't able to suppress the fire poison, and it showed signs of erupting. The girl in pink became anxious and looked at Wang Lin with hatred in her eyes. However, she wasn't strong enough to put up any resistance against Wang Lin's stop spell. As Wang Lin swept through the middle-aged woman's memories, he was suddenly startled as he found what he was looking for. There was an arrogant figure in her memories. This figure was the person Wang Lin saw when his mind swept through the brilliant void realm. Brilliant void saintess Mu Bingmai. Wang Lin had a complex expression as he lifted his right index finger up. This middle-aged woman respected the brilliant void saintess a lot but didn't know much. She only knew that the saintess cultivated a very strange cultivation method. Once it's complete, the saintess would become the strongest person in the brilliant void realm. Unfortunately, it seemed this method was extremely difficult to complete. Aside from the first-generation saintess, no one else had succeeded in it. However, it seemed this 7th-generation saintess, Mu Bingmai, had achieved some success. Liu Mai. Mu Bingmai. Wang Lin felt pain come from his mind. He could even feel Wang Ping, who was inside the heaven-defying bead, show signs of awakening due to the fluctuations in his mind. Thinking about Wang Ping, Wang Lin felt like his heart was cut by a knife. Wang Ping always had a wish, but he only mentioned it once in his life. After not receiving an answer, he never mentioned it again in his life. He very much wanted to see his mother once. Wang Lin stood up while silently pondering and looked at the girl in pink. From the middle-aged woman's memories, Wang Lin knew that this girl was Liu Mai's junior sister and that she cultivated the same method. Her relationship with the middle-aged woman wasn't simple. The middle-aged woman had watched the girl in pink grow up before she became Liu Mai's junior sister. Wang Lin's eyes became cold and calmly said, "If I don't save her, she will without a doubt die within 15 minutes. The beautiful woman's body was a rosy red. This red was a demonic kind of red. Lots of sweat was coming out from her body, but in the blink of an eye, it turned into white gas. If this continued, it wouldn't take long for the middle-aged woman to become a mummy, and her origin soul would be destroyed. Even if Wang Lin didn't search her memories, she wouldn't have lasted long. Maybe a bit longer, but the result would have been the same. We can make a deal. I'll save you, take you two into the palace, and into the 8th floor. In return, you will let me search your memories." Wang Lin spoke calmly and gave the girl a choice. If she agreed, it would be fine, but if she didn't, Wang Lin would attack. The girl in pink let out a bitter smile. She could see the determination in Wang Lin's words. She was smart, so she naturally knew that Wang Lin wanted to search her memories to look for something. After observing him, she knew that he was certainly searching for something related to her senior sister. Even if she didn't agree, it would be pointless. She nodded and gave up resisting. Wang Lin no longer spoke but waved his sleeves. He took the two women and stepped directly outside the bubble. He then charged straight ahead. Soon, he closed in on the palace and entered. After he entered, Wang Lin's right hand formed a seal and pointed, causing all the magma to surge out of the palace. Once no lava was left inside the palace, the gate suddenly closed shut. Although there was no more magma inside, this place still gave off intense heat. Wang Lin waved his sleeves and the two women landed on the side. His right hand reached out and the beautiful woman's body flew toward him. Wang Lin's right hand hit multiple spots on the beautiful woman, not caring that she was female at all. Every time he hit a part of her body, her face would become a bit more red. After 7 minutes, her body was almost completely red. Wang Lin placed his right hand on her forehead and a suction force came from his hand. All of the fire poison in her body rushed into Wang Lin's hand. The beautiful woman's body gradually returned to normal. However, she was extremely weak and fell to the side. "Now it's your turn." Wang Lin looked at the girl in pink. The girl in pink bit her lower lip and, after pondering a bit, she sat down. She pointed between her eyebrows with her right hand and the snowflakes around her body slowly disappeared. She closed her eyes and remained motionless. Wang Lin didn't have any other thoughts, it was only an exchange for him. His right hand pointed between to her eyebrows and his divine sense spread out and searched her memories. The girl in pink's body trembled, but she clenched her teeth. Although searching memories was harmful, Wang Lin wasn't too tyrannical. As long as she didn't resist, he wouldn't break through by force. So in the end it would all depend on whether she completely gave up resisting or not. As Wang Lin searched, he gradually understood more about Mu Bingmai. After a long time, he withdrew his right hand, and his expression became even more complex. Heavenly Soul Tao. To pretend the heavens Tao has a soul and to cultivate this Tao with countless avatars. After many experiences, one will cultivate many different cultivation methods and retain their original heart while obtaining countless domains. In the end, all of the avatars unite to complete the Heavenly Soul Tao. This Heavenly Soul Tao was the peak cultivation method of the brilliant Void Realm, and only the first-generation saintess had succeeded in cultivating it. All future generations failed because they lost sight of their original hearts and died. This Mu Bingmai was the 7th-generation saintess. She had unexpectedly found a shortcut by using her ruthless domain. After an avatar was formed from cultivating the heavenly soul Tao, she didn't allow it to retain her memories. Instead, she'd send the avatar to survive on its own. This allowed the avatar to create a new consciousness that didn't know of the existence of the original body. Only after the avatar's cultivation level reached a certain point could the memory inheritance be activated, and the avatar would then fuse back with the original body. The Heavens Tao was ruthless, so her avatar needed to be ruthless too. Also, she didn't have countless avatars like previous generation saintesses, she only had 9. She had calculated very far into the future when she selected the planets to place them on. After countless years, the first 8 avatar had all awakened while retaining their virgin bodies. However, the 9th avatar on planet Suzaku had an accident. As for what the accident was, the girl in pink didn't know. She just knew that the 9th avatar was named Liu Mai and that it had caused her senior sister to enter a struggle. The girl in pink's face turned deathly pale and sweat covered her forehead. Her body became very weak, but the damage of the memory search wasn't very heavy, so she only needed to rest for a bit to recover. Wang Lin let out a sigh. He had already obtained the answer he wanted about the brilliant Void Saintess. Although it wasn't complete, with Wang Lin's intelligence, he was able to see the problems. After pondering for a bit, Wang Lin's gaze swept the palace and he found where to activate it. After opening this array, the 2 of you can enter the 8th floor. You'll be on your own. Wang Lin activated the transfer array and disappeared. Although he didn't kill the beautiful middle-aged woman, while searching her memories, he had destroyed all of his secrets that she saw. He had also left behind restrictions in her mind. If she continued to bother him, he could cause her mind to collapse. The moment Wang Lin entered the 8th floor of the Celestial Emperor Cave, he heard rumbling sounds from the distance and felt powerful origin energy fluctuations. The 8th floor was completely dark and enveloped in a black mist that prevented Wang Lin's divine sense from spreading out far. However, the noise became more rapid and he could vaguely hear angry roars. This voice seemed to belong to Ling Tianhu. Wang Lin's eyes became serious. After listening for a long time, Wang Lin retreated, but just as he retreated, the black mist before him churned and Ling Tianhu charged out. At this moment, Ling Tianhu was in an extremely sorry state and his face was filled with horror. There was a black handprint on his chest. The handprint had broken through his clothes and imprinted on his chest. As he ran, black mist moved toward that handprint. A shadow was chasing behind him through the black mist, and it had taken the form of a giant devil by using the black mist. It was chasing the escaping Ling Tianhu and was about to devour him. The fear in Ling Tianhu's eyes was even stronger, but he clenched his teeth and turned around. He opened his mouth and spat out origin energy before reaching out at the void with his hand. A spatial rift appeared and Ling Tianhu's red Qilin charged out at the roaring devil. The Qilin's body was also covered in wounds, and a large amount of blood was flowing out of them. Ling Tianhu's eyes revealed his heartache, but right now wasn't the time for him to think about it, and he shouted, "Blood sacrifice." As he spoke, he hit the spot between his eyebrows and the remaining 2 origin swords behind him flew out. They didn't fly toward the devil, but toward the Qilin. The Qilin let out a miserable cry, but it didn't resist, it allowed the 2 origin swords to stab into it. Large amounts of blood sprayed out and immediately covered the surrounding 1,000 feet area. "Beast soul, appear." As Ling Tianhu shouted, the Qilin's body suddenly exploded. As blood rained down, the Qilin's soul appeared from its collapsed body. The moment the Qilin's soul appeared, it let out a roar. This roar couldn't be heard by the physical body, only the origin soul. When that roar entered Wang Lin's ears, it was like rumbling thunder. As the Qilin soul let out a roar, it charged at the devil monster. It began biting the devil in an attempt to stop it from chasing. Ling Tianhu looked at all the Qilin blood with his bloodshot eyes. His heart was also bleeding. This Qilin had followed him for countless years and had become something too difficult for him to part with. However, at this moment, he had to personally kill it to use its blood as a sacrifice to speed up the growth of its soul. While he roared, Ling Tianhu's hand formed a seal and pointed forward. All the blood flew into the air and gathered toward where the Qilin was fighting the devil. There were traces of gold inside the blood that even caused more than half of the black mist to dissipate as it gathered toward the devil. Wang Lin, help me. This place is dangerous. It is not a place that a single person can last in. I'll explain to you later. The reason Ling Tianhu chose to escape to this location was because he had detected someone entering. Of the people that hadn't entered, the person who was most qualified to enter first was Wang Lin. Just after entering the 8th floor, Wang Lin immediately saw Ling Tianhu in such a sorry state, and he had even destroyed his own Qilin. Wang Lin had a bad feeling about what had happened to the people that had entered the 8th floor. At this moment, he had to ask someone about what happened. Wang Lin revealed a decisive gaze and stepped out from the dark mist. Not wasting any time talking with Ling Tianhu, he jumped up and was about to use a spell. Spells are useless against it. It will just devour them. Ling Tianhu immediately shouted, and at the same time, he slapped his bag of holding. A small, red sword appeared in his hand and he threw it straight ahead. Then Ling Tianhu's heart ached as he shouted, "Explode!" After he spoke, the small sword suddenly collapsed into a destructive force that entered the devil. The devil immediately let out sharp cries. To Wang Lin, this devil was clearly an ancient devil. However, this ancient devil was a bit strange, and although it was similar to a scattered devil, it was a little different. For some reason, there were stars in this ancient devil's left eye. There was a total of 8 stars, 7 of which were dim, and only one gave off monstrous devilish energy. At this moment, the ancient devil was filled with pain, and the stars in its left eye were rotating. The one shining star became even brighter as powerful devilish energy came from it, giving it an eerie feeling. While roaring, the ancient devil's body flickered and it unexpectedly escaped the Qilin. It charged directly at Ling Tianhu. Wang Lin's pupils shrank, and his right hand formed a fist and he threw a punch. The ancient god shadow appeared, but thanks to the black mist, it wasn't clear. However, the moment he threw that punch, the ancient devil was startled and suddenly turned around. The ancient devil stared at Wang Lin and gave up on chasing Ling Tianhu, then it turned into a shadow and charged at Wang Lin. It was obvious that he had recognized Wang Lin's ancient god aura. Wang Lin's mind moved and a black and white yin and yang symbol appeared behind him. His right hand reached out, and as the black and white gas mixed, the treasure Wang Lin had fused with his domain appeared. The Karma Whip. With the Karma Whip in hand, Wang Lin's hand shook and popping sounds came out, then the skin on the whip peeled open, revealing strands of golden light. The moment the devil closed in, the Karma Whip closed in and landed on the devil. The ancient devil suddenly stopped, and a large amount of devilish energy sprayed out from where the whip passed. He let out a painful scream and his eyes were bloodshot. He was about to charge again. However, the Karma Whip in Wang Lin's hand moved once more, and with a snap, it landed on the ancient devil, causing him to tremble. Wang Lin didn't stop and continued to land blows on the ancient devil. The ancient devil seemed to have become fearful of the whip and continued to retreat. However, just after it retreated hundreds of feet, the ancient devil rapidly shrank until it unexpectedly became a large handprint and whistled toward Wang Lin. Wang Lin, be careful. That devilish handprint can penetrate all forms of protection. Ling Tianhu was startled by the handprint. The injury on his chest was caused by that handprint. When Wang Lin saw the devilish handprint, his eyes shined brightly. This giant handprint gave him a very familiar feeling. As it closed in, Wang Lin's eyes lit up and he raised his right hand. The feeling of that shocking handprint he saw in the Rain Celestial Realm appeared in his mind. I know this handprint too. Back then, Wang Lin's cultivation level wasn't high enough, but now he was at the peak of the Nirvana Scryer stage and had the body of an ancient god. The thought of that handprint from the Rain Celestial Realm immediately filled his mind and replaced everything. It seemed to become an eternal existence, and it turned into a will that entered his right hand and shot forward. This palm caused the world to change colors, and thunderous rumbles echoed. All of the black mist was pushed back like crazy as if there was a powerful wind pushing it. The will contained inside this handprint contained an imposing aura that said everything in the world belongs to me. This palm immediately turned into a giant handprint that covered the heavens and earth. It contained an indescribable pressure as it pushed forward. In an instant, It collided with the ancient devil's shadow. There was a heaven-shaking rumble that caused the entire earth to tremble. The devilish handprint collapsed with a bang and turned back into the ancient devil. His eyes were filled with horror as he let out a scream and was about to flee. However, Wang Lin's palm didn't dissipate but swept forward in a crazy manner. All of the black mist in the 8th floor began to be pushed back. Unexpectedly, this handprint had opened a large path through the black mist. The ancient devil wasn't able to escape, and the handprint caught up. It let out a mournful cry, and just as its body shattered, its left eye flashed. His left eye escaped and flew straight ahead. The handprint didn't stop and continued to move forward. All of the pavilions in the way collapsed. As the handprint moved forward, it finally collided with the edge of the palace at the center. There was a loud thud and more than half of the palace was destroyed, exposing the 99 candlesticks inside. The moment the handprint collided, one of the 2 candles that remained burning shook violently, and in the end the flame went out. The only remaining candle showed signs of extinguishing but was still struggling to stay burning. Ling Tianhu stared dumbfoundedly at all of this, and he sucked a breath of cold air. His eyes were filled with disbelief as he stared at Wang Lin. Right now a terrifying storm appeared in his heart. "Let's go." Wang Lin's words were concise, and he followed the road the handprint had opened. He was not as calm as he looked at this moment. He had a feeling that he was only able to display a very small portion of the true power of that handprint. If he could use it at full power, all 9 floors of this celestial emperor cave could be smashed with one handprint. Ling Tianhu quickly followed behind Wang Lin, and his dread toward Wang Lin increased as he understood Wang Lin less and less. Although he knew that his cultivation level was higher, if they were really to fight, he had a feeling that he would without a doubt lose. Wang Lin moved forward like lightning and soon arrived next to the half-destroyed palace. He coldly looked at Ling Tianhu as he took out a large amount of pills and threw them into his mouth. Then he slapped his bag of holding and a ray of silver light flew it. The silver female corpse appeared around Wang Lin and coldly looked at Ling Tianhu. Ling Tianhu's pupils shrank. He felt like Wang Lin had become even more mysterious and powerful. "I can't figure this person out all. Whether it's his cultivation, spells, or anything else, I can only use the 2 words profound mystery to describe him." In Ling Tianhu's life, he had only described the All-Seer as a profound mystery, and now there was one more. He didn't use the green pill Wang Wei had given him but instead devoured a lot of other pills to make up for the terrifying amount of origin energy that handprint had used up. The amount of origin energy he had used wasn't any less than what he used with the iron sword. However, Wang Lin just had left the magma. Aside from the fire origin energy inside his body, there were still large amounts of origin energy he hadn't absorbed yet. Also, during his months of cultivating, the vermilion bird tattoo had absorbed a lot as well. During those months of cultivation, Wang Lin noticed that the fire origin energy absorbed by his vermilion bird tattoo could be transferred to his body. It was this discovery that made Wang Lin remain so long inside the magma. After devouring the pills, Wang Lin didn't use the fire origin energy inside the vermilion bird tattoo and instead absorbed some of the unabsorbed fire origin energy in his body. Adding on the pills he had just devoured, Wang Lin recovered a bit. He soon arrived at the half-destroyed palace with the candlesticks, and only one remained struggled to remain burning. There was no one here. Wang Lin's gaze swept the area and then he calmly said, "What exactly happened here?" Ling Tianhu arrived inside after Wang Lin with lingering fear in his eyes and said, "When we entered from the 7th floor, there was no black fog here. However, after entering this hall and opening the entrance to the 9th floor, 3 devil shadows shot out and filled this area with black fog. Those 3 devil shadows were very strange, and Master Void was immediately seriously injured by one. Wang Wei suffered injuries from Bei Lu's sneak attack. Then the All-Seer attacked, and he helped Bei Lu. As for Hu Huan, before she could do anything, she was immediately sucked into the 9th floor. I was also injured by a devil shadow. I couldn't clearly see my surroundings with this black fog as divine sense can't pierce it." Ling Tianhu simply explained what happened, and as Wang Lin listened, his expression gradually turned into a frown. Wang Lin wasn't surprised about the All-Seer helping Bei Lu. The All-Seer had been to the demon spirit land many times, and Wang Lin wouldn't believe that he had never come into contact with the ancient demons. Besides, back when Wang Lin was still in the Heavenly Fate sect, he remembered that the senior brother of the Purple Division had used a spell similar to a demonic spell. He remembered that profoundly. Later, as he encountered more events, the more he thought about it, the more it confirmed his speculation. Wang Lin had also obtained the body of the scattered devil. The body was obviously the same as Ling Tianhu, only a lot younger. Wang Lin still had that body inside his bag. He believed that if he took that body out, Ling Tianhu's expression would change greatly. Even the All-Seer's expression would probably change. Ancient devil, ancient demon, All-Seer, and Ling Tianhu. There must be some strange relationship between them. Wang Lin quietly looked at the remnants of the palace, especially at the last remaining burning candle. How do we activate this place? Wang Lin had to go to the 9th floor. Whether it was for Ju Yi or Sichu Nan, he had to enter. Although Sichu Nan hadn't come this far, Wang Lin firmly believed that with Sichu Nan's cultivation level, he would be fine in the first few floors. However, Ju Yi was at the 9th floor, and the hope of curing Sichu Nan's poison was also on the 9th floor. Both were his benefactors, so how could Wang Lin give up? Although he knew that there were dangers on the 9th floor, if he gave up due to danger, then he wouldn't be Wang Lin. Ling Tianhu hesitated and asked, "You really want to go down?" Wang Lin nodded. Ling Tianhu pondered a bit, then a trace of madness in his eyes, and he muttered, "Forget it. You've cultivated for less time than me but still have the guts to go. This old man's beloved beast was destroyed due to that damn thing. I've cultivated the tyrannical domain all my life, and I'm unwilling to leave just like this. The All-Seer dared to enter, so why should I be afraid?" He stepped forward and headed toward the candlesticks. He then quickly moved the candlesticks based on his memory of what Hu Huan did. The 99 candlesticks began to slowly move and a loud rumbles could be heard. As they moved, they took the shape of a large formation. Bursts of ghostly light came from the candlestick and then shined brightly. At the center of the 99 candlesticks, a circle of light appeared, and dense, black fog came from inside it. Ling Tianhu clenched his teeth and charged into the circle of light first. Wang Lin didn't hesitate. He took a deep breath and put away the silver female corpse before stepping into the light circle. Just as Wang Lin and Ling Tianhu entered the 9th floor, inside the palace at the center of the 9th floor, which was the same as the one on the 8th, a figure covered in dark fog raised his head and revealed a sign of struggle. There was only one light remaining between his eyebrows as the endless black gas attacked in an attempt to devour the last speck of light. Constant rumbles came from outside the palace along with angry roars. It was obvious that an intense battle was occurring outside. Outside the palace, almost everyone was present, but they were all injured. They were circling the palace, and countless devil shadows were rushing out and attacking the surrounding cultivators. No matter how much they attacked, these devil shadows didn't dissipate. If they were forced into a desperate situation, the devil shadows would collapse to form a terrifying destructive force. This caused all the surrounding people to be entangled in this battle. Master Void's face was pale and he sat down not far away. He coughed out a mouthful of black blood and pointed at spots across his body to suppress his injuries. Beside him, the man in black was also extremely pale, and he sat there cultivating, but his eyes were locked straight ahead. The All-Seer waved his large sleeves, and every time he did so, he would launch many powerful attacks, breaking everything coming at him. As for Wang Wei, he had a gloomy expression as the monstrous water curtains around him attacked like crazy. There were two reasons why he was attacking like crazy. One was his master, Qing Lin, and the second was Hu Huan, who was immediately sucked into the 9th floor. This caused him to become distracted, allowing Bei Lu the chance to launch a sneak attack. Along with the All-Seer's help, they were able to injure Wang Wei, but Wang Wei had too many pills. He simply took some and ignored Bei Lu and the All-Seer as he rushed into the 9th floor to look for Hu Huan. Bei Lu was on the other side. Demonic energy filled his body, forming a powerful demonic flame around him. An ancient demon shadow appeared behind him, but this shadow was almost corporeal, and it gave off a powerful demonic aura. Whenever he raised his right hand, countless spells would fly out, attacking the devil shadows, and he shouted, "Ta Jiao," I know your devil shadow spell consumes the most devilish energy. I want to see how much more you can waste. What answered Bei Lu was a cold, hoarse voice that caused everyone's hearts to feel a chill. This voice was ethereal and contained a devilish pressure. Bei Lu, when I finish my possession, you will know how much devilish energy I have now. After hearing this, Wang Wei's eyes turned red. Then both of his hands moved and a blue light appeared before him. In the blink of an eye, it turned into a surging sea that filled the entire sky like a real ocean. Wang Wei roared, and then this monstrous ocean came crashing down from the sky at the dark fog outside the palace. The old man on the gourd also attacked as he turned into countless spells and charged into the black fog to begin a slaughter with the devil shadows. Ju Yi was also here, but he was even weaker than before. He had an anxious gaze as he looked at the black mist before him. However, the devilish energy in him was too strong. As a spirit body, he was finding it difficult to resist the devilish energy. It was at this moment that Wang Lin and Ling Tianhu arrived. This 9th floor was not big. Aside from the palace, there was nothing else. The moment they arrived, they saw the unprecedented fierce battle before them. Ancient demon Bei Lu's shadow and Wang Wei's monstrous waves were the most noticeable. At this moment, the All-Seer's eyes revealed a strange light as he pointed at the sky and said, "Heavenly Fate Finger." After he spoke, a majestic vortex appeared in the sea formed by Wang Wei's spell, then a powerful pressure descended from the above. A giant finger came out of the water and mercilessly pressed down on the palace covered in black fog. The monstrous ocean suddenly smashed down as if it wanted to destroy everything in the world. The All-Seer's finger also descended from the sky. Ancient demon Bei Lu opened his arms and the ancient demon shadow behind him detached from his body. There was a flash of light and 24 small illusionary flags surrounded the ancient demon shadow. As the ancient demon pointed forward, the 24 small flags released an unimaginable pressure. Various illusions of ancient gods and ancient devils appeared. There were even some fierce beasts from ancient times. They filled the sky. Various spells descended from the sky outside the palace at this moment. Master Void clenched his teeth and was going to attack, but when he realized that Wang Lin was here, he immediately stopped. The man in black also didn't move, but a trace of greed appeared in his eyes. Inside the palace was a seriously injured celestial emperor Qing Lin. Even if the ancient devil was here, they still had more people, and they weren't lacking in powerful cultivators, so even the ancient devil would be afraid. As long as I can obtain 3 drops of Qing Lin's blood, my mission will be complete. Then the Lord will help me increase my cultivation level greatly. Even the old man on the gourd's eyes lit up. He stopped attacking and took a few steps back, then greed appeared in his eyes. He came here with the All-Seer, so he hadn't encountered too much trouble. He wasn't here to obtain the secret of the 3rd step from Qing Lin, he wanted his celestial spells. When the All-Seer, Bei Lu, and Wang Wei's spells landed, there was a violent rumble and countless cracks appeared on the earth, making it seem as if it was going to collapse. When the All-Seer's finger landed, the entire earth collapsed and even the entire Celestial Emperor Cave began to shake. All 9 floors were affected. Then, adding the numerous illusions summoned by Bei Lu's flags, what shook wasn't merely the Celestial Emperor Cave, but the entire demon spirit land. The collapse of the ground caused the entire 9th floor to turn into ruin. When the 3 powerful spells descended, Bei Lu's hoarse voice roared like crazy. And then all the black fog around the palace charged at the 3 powerhouses. Rumble, rumble, rumble. Waves of heaven-shaking rumbles echoed. Wang Lin and Ling Tianhu quickly flew forward. Before they got close, they felt the unimaginable impact from ahead. However, just as the spells and the black fog collided, causing the world to change colors, the last candle in the palace on the 8th floor struggled for a moment and then extinguished. The moment the candle extinguished, the light between the eyebrows of the middle-aged man on the throne disappeared. Then large amounts of devilish energy rushed in and occupied the entire area. At this instant, the man suddenly raised his head, and the confusion in his eyes disappeared, replaced with a terrifying devilish flame. There were now 8 stars rapidly rotating in his left eye. He revealed a gloomy smile as he slowly stood up. He had been sitting here for countless years, and during these countless years, his body wasn't able to move an inch. However, At this moment, he moved. The moment the middle-aged man stood up, monstrous devilish energy surged out and countless cracks appeared on the palace he was in. Then the palace shattered into countless pieces and scattered everywhere. Even the black fog outside quickly entered the collapsed palace and went toward the middle-aged man. A suit of black armor suddenly appeared on his body. At this moment, Wang Wei saw the palace collapse, and he saw the figure inside the collapsed palace. His eyes were filled with shock and pain. Teacher. There was a trace of madness in the all-seer's eyes. He had waited a very long time for this day. On the other side, Bei Lu sucked in a breath of cold air and intense killing intent appeared in his eyes. He has just finished the possession and it hasn't stabilized yet. I can't let him consolidate his power. The moment the middle-aged man stood up, all the restrictions in the first fight floors flickered intensely as if they were cheering, and then they all collapsed. What was even more terrifying was that the demon spirit land changed greatly when he stood up. All the demonic energy was swept away from the demon spirit land, reverting it to the celestial spirit heaven realm. However, at this moment, endless devilish energy surged out and covered the entire sky above the celestial spirit heaven realm. The celestial beasts that had just recovered were swept by the devilish energy. Once the devilish energy passed, they became extremely bloodthirsty ferocious beasts. Not only the demon spirit land, but even the endless starry sky the demon spirit land was in was filled with devilish energy. It turned into a huge illusory devil shadow, and it let out an arrogant laugh. This laugh was silent, but it enveloped the entire alliance. This was an unimaginable kind of power. The war in the alliance that had lasted for half a year still continued. Countless cultivators had died, but the ruthless battle had made both sides' eyes red from slaughter. Large amounts of all heaven cultivators came from all heaven, and the alliance moved out almost all the cultivators in the northern region. The entire northern region was covered in the thick smell of blood. Even Master Flamespark had almost gone crazy from killing. However, just as the two sides were immersed in endless slaughter, that silent laugh passed by. Master Flamespark was startled, and even the Alliance elder fighting him was aghast at the situation. They weren't the only ones. All the surrounding ordinary cultivators began to tremble, but they didn't know the reason. In the distant Alliance headquarters, there were still some surviving Celestials like Wang Wei and Hu Huan. They were the backbone of the Alliance, and they were about to head out to join the battle in the northern region. However, the silent laugh passed by their ears. The expressions of these former Celestials changed greatly and terror filled their eyes. This sound is Celestial Emperor Qing Lin. Even the middle-aged man in the secret room on the planet above the vortex deep within the Alliance headquarters suddenly opened his eyes. The moment his eyes opened, the bell on the ceiling suddenly collapsed with a bang. Celestial Emperor. At the same time, the old man that noticed Wang Lin in the brilliant void realm suddenly looked up. It was as if his gaze could penetrate into the distance and look at the demon spirit land. His expression had never been so serious before. Beside him, the cold brilliant void saintess, Mu Bingmai, was also startled. He has awakened. No, it's not him. The old man's expression changed. There was a hint of melancholy, a hint of relief, but also a hint of disappointment. In the burning starfield that was a forbidden land for the alliance that belonged to the Vermilion Bird Divine Sect of the Four Divine Sect, there was a 100 feet wide white rock that was within the deepest part of the starfield. This was where the source of the flames was. This rock had an irregular shape, and it wasn't red, but snow-white. However, the temperature from this rock was unimaginable. Even the current Wang Lin would melt if he came within 1,000 feet of it, and even his vermilion bird would instantly die. Even a 5-star ancient god wouldn't be able to last if they went within this 1,000 feet of this rock. This seemingly ordinary stone was the source of this burning starfield. It was because of this that the starfield had continued to burn over the countless years. At this moment, there was an old man sitting on top of this rock. This old man looked far too old with his loose skin, and a dense death aura filled him. From a distance, he didn't look like a person, but a pile of dead flesh. However, no one dared to underestimate this old man. He was the Vermilion Bird Divine Emperor. Even back then, his fame shook the stars. Due to some special reason, He didn't enter the celestial realm, but there would have been a place for him there. At this moment, the old man opened his eyes. He looked ahead and revealed a hint of melancholy. Could it be that my vermilion bird divine sect really can't rise once more? There was a planet among the stars that most people didn't pay attention to or directly ignored. It was a rank 6 cultivation planet, and it was called Planet Suzaku. On Planet Suzaku, in the place where it was once a sea of fog, there lied the land of the ancient god. Within the blood sea of the land of the ancient god, a red-haired man slowly raised his head and revealed a hint of contempt in his eyes. This 8-star ancient devil is just a waste. In another 100 years, I, Tuor Sen, will be able to leave this place. At that time, will anyone who can hinder me appear? As Tuor Sen's voice echoed, the sea of blood churned and raged like a monstrous wave. The land of the ancient god was a separate space in the void that Tu Sai had opened up. His body was stored in this space. It was impossible to describe how large his body was, even a cultivation planet was like a children's toy next to it. His rough skin and huge fist gave off an earth-shattering pressure that filled the void. However, as the blood sea raged with Tuor Sen's words, Tu Sai's right index finger suddenly moved a bit. The collapse of the palace was like a storm that was suddenly stopped, and then all of its force scattered outwards. The middle-aged man that stood up was the former number 1 person who had no rivals among the 4 celestial realms, Celestial Emperor Qing Lin. However, right now his eyes were filled with powerful devilish flames and he was enveloped by a suit of black armor. The scale-like armor covered his entire body. The monstrous devilish energy formed a cloak behind him that moved without any wind. At the end of the cloak, the impressive shadow of an ancient devil appeared. The dense armor completely covered his appearance, with only the devilish flame in his eyes giving off a red glow. The moment the palace collapsed, he stepped out. At this moment, outside the collapsed palace, Wang Wei's magnificent sea spell covered the sky. The collapse of the palace was too fast, so Wang Wei had no time to stop his spell. The surging waves smashed down like crazy on the collapsed palace. At this instant, it was as if everything in this world was replaced by the sea, and water vapor filled the world. A heaven-shaking amount of celestial spiritual energy flooded the area at this moment. It felt almost corporeal and could shake one's mind. Just this spell was enough to make Wang Wei one of the most powerful cultivators today. The entire world seemed to be submerged by this raging sea. Wang Lin sucked in a breath of cold air. From what he could see, Wang Wei's strength was comparable to Qing Shui's if his Ji realm wasn't included. However, just as the raging sea arrived, the middle-aged man clad in armor took a step and arrived in the air. Just a small trick. With a trace of bloodthirst and madness, the man raised his right hand and randomly waved. Large amounts of black gas suddenly came from his hand and immediately flooded the sky, covering the sea. The sea Wang Wei had created exploded into countless raindrops that scattered everywhere. It was as if Wang Wei's spell was mere child's play before this man. Teacher, disciple was late. Wang Wei's face was pale as he retreated hundreds of feet and arrived next to Ju Yi. He looked at the middle-aged man with pain in his eyes, but he quickly suppressed it and revealed a determined gaze. Ju Yi hadn't recovered from injuring Master Void and was in danger here. Wang Wei waved his hand, and Ju Yi naturally knew Wang Wei's intent. Ju Yi looked at Wang Lin before turning into a light and was put into Wang Wei's bag. In the sky, after Wang Wei's sea was shattered, the All-Seer's finger that seemed like it could support the heavens descended. It was filled with powerful origin energy, and it slowly descended from the sky. Although it looked slow, it was extremely fast. The rumbling sounds echoed as if a hole was being opened in the sky by the finger. Even the black fog was pierced through as it came crashing down on the man below. A strange whistling sound echoed, but before it could get close, the middle-aged man's right hand reached out. With a bang, the finger began to collapse in the middle. It was as if a power far stronger than this finger had broken it in half, causing the entire finger to break inch by inch. The rumbling was heaven-shaking. The finger that made Wang Lin's scalp tingle collapsed and disappeared in the blink of an eye. All of this happened in an instant. The moment the middle-aged man stepped out, both Wang Wei and the All-Seer's spells collapsed. However, the man in armor didn't stop and took another step. He moved at an indescribable speed and immediately arrived before ancient demon Bei Lu. The 8 stars in his left eye flashed as he raised his right hand and casually waved it at all the illusions summoned by the small flags. The endless black fog covering the sky suddenly shrank and surrounded him and Bei Lu. All of this happened so fast that by the time people could react, they only saw black fog. Waves of rumbles echoed inside the black fog. The black fog churned, and Bei Lu's angry roars could be heard. Ta Jiao, even though you've possessed Qing Lin's body, if you don't have enough time, you can't possibly devour Qing Lin's soul or display all of Qing Lin's strength from back then. So what? It is enough to kill all of you. A hoarse and gloomy voice came out along with spell fluctuations. When it landed in everyone's ears, it was as if bones were being rubbed together. Everyone couldn't help but feel a chill in their hearts. The All-Seer's eyes revealed a strange light, then he unexpectedly charged into the black fog. The rumbling from the black fog became even louder. Wang Wei clenched his teeth and rushed into the black fog as well. These 3 powerhouses had entered the black fog, and the heaven-shaking collisions of their spells echoed. There were also crazy fluctuations of origin energy and celestial spiritual energy that spread. Master Void looked at the black fog with a serious expression, and the man in black beside him did the same. The old man on the gourd also hesitated and stopped at the edge of the black fog. As for Ling Tianhu, he looked at the black fog with a gloomy expression. Wang Lin immediately retreated without hesitation. Although he didn't know everything that was going on, the man in the armor that had come out of the palace was the same person that interfered with his nether guide when he was inside Bottle World and gave him the yellow crystal. When Wang Wei shouted teacher, it confirmed Wang Lin's speculation. That person was the strongest person in the celestial realm, Celestial Emperor Qing Lin. Connecting all the information from before, the karma of everything is about to reveal itself. In the past, Celestial Emperor Qing Lin was seriously injured during the collapse of the celestial realm and was forced to go into closed-door cultivation. However, ancient devil Ta Jiao and ancient demon Bei Lu took this opportunity to ambush Qing Lin. They wanted to steal Qing Lin's body to take his cultivation and memories. However, Qing Lin was very powerful, and even after being seriously injured, he was still incredibly powerful. Even with the ancient devil and ancient demon working together, they couldn't completely defeat Qing Lin. Finally, Qing Lin came to the celestial spirit heaven realm, where their battle reached a peak. In that battle, ancient demon Bei Lu was split into 9 parts by force. He had no choice but to become 9 ancient demon spirits and hide himself for countless years in the celestial spirit heaven realm until he could reform. As for ancient devil Ta Jiao, he was able to enter Qing Lin's body, and he tried to take over. However, Qing Lin was able to arrive on the 9th floor of this cave. The moment he sat down, he used the 99 candles to resist the ancient devil. However, ancient devil Ta Jiao was also a powerful being. He unexpectedly filled the entire cave with devilish energy and even caused some of Qing Lin's guards to walk down the devil's path. They eventually ended up under his command. As for the scattered devil that was out in the demon spirit land and had the same body as Ling Tianhu, I fear there is something else behind that. Wang Lin's eyes lit up. With his intelligence, he immediately had a rough idea of the situation inside the cave. Just as hundreds of thoughts flashed through Wang Lin's head while he was rapidly retreating, a deafening sound came from the black fog. Along with this sound, the black fog rapidly spread outwards. Wang Wei's body charged out from the expanding black fog. As he floated in the air, he coughed out a mouthful of blood and looked dispirited. However, the sadness on his face and the pain in his heart suppressed any injuries. Just as Wang Wei was forced out, the black fog spreading out gathered and turned into a ray of black light that shot at Wang Wei. It was so fast that it immediately pierced through Wang Wei's chest. Large amounts of blood sprayed out from Wang Wei's chest and then he fell from the sky. This change was so sudden that it caused everyone's expressions to change greatly. The man in black gasped before withdrawing all his greed and immediately retreating. Master Void was the same, but his eyes lit up, and as he retreated, he charged at the seriously injured Wang Wei. I'll take this opportunity to end this person and resolve a bit of the hatred in my heart. Although Master Void was seriously injured, he was still at the Nirvana Shatterer stage. At this moment, He moved like lightning and appeared next to Wang Wei. He then raised his hand and mercilessly smashed down on Wang Wei's head. He grinned and shouted, "Since you dared to help that little bastard, die." While Wang Lin retreated, he also saw Wang Wei get thrown away after being seriously injured. He immediately stopped and charged toward Wang Wei. However, he wasn't as fast as Master Void, who had closed in on Wang Wei and had already lifted his hand. An earthy yellow glow appeared in Master Void's right hand. His hand contained the peak power of an early-stage Nirvana Shatterer cultivator. Just at this moment, Wang Lin didn't have time to think. The ancient god furnace appeared around him. He pointed at Wang Wei and shouted, "Change positions." A light covered Wang Wei, and the moment Master Void's hand smashed down, he disappeared and was replaced by Wang Lin. Wang Lin's right eye flashed blue the moment Master Void's palm descended, and the azure light shield appeared between them. Master Void's hand smashed into the shield. The shield sank and pressed down on Wang Lin's chest, causing him to cough out blood. His body was pushed back and his eyes became bloodshot. Then he arrived next to the unconscious Wang Wei. He grabbed Wang Wei and retreated. As he did so, he reached into Wang Wei's clothes to grab a pill. He then crushed the wax around the pill and threw it into Wang Wei's mouth. Master Void stared at Wang Lin. After being forced to suppress his anger for so long, he couldn't hold it in anymore. At this moment, he forgot that he shouldn't be losing his mind so easily with his cultivation level drop and charged at Wang Lin. "Little bastard, I'm going to skin you alive today." Wang Lin quickly retreated and his eyes turned cold. Just as Master Void chased after Wang Lin, the dark mist filled with spells suddenly expanded once more, and this time the All-Seer was thrown out. Although he looked pale, he wasn't in a bad state. The moment he rushed out, the black fog turned into the black light that injured Wang Wei, and it charged at the All-Seer. The All-Seer's eyes lit up. He charged out and his right hand touched between his eyebrows. A ray of 7-colored light shot out from between his eyebrows and collided with the black light. There was a bang when the 7-colored light and the black light collapsed. The All-Seer borrowed this force and retreated without hesitation. This sudden change shook Master Void's mind. However, it didn't make him give up on killing Wang Lin. He actually moved even faster. When the old man on the gourd saw that even the All-Seer was defeated, his face filled with horror. He retreated without hesitation, but he was too late. The churning of the black fog reached a peak, and the earth-shattering rumbles continued. Then a muffled groan could be heard as Bei Lu was mercilessly thrown outside the black fog, and blood sprayed everywhere. The demonic energy around Bei Lu that was scattered quickly gathered. His eyes were filled with dense resentment. Behind him, the black fog quickly contracted, and in an instant, the fog shrank back into the armored ancient devil. The ancient devil's right hand held a 30-feet-long black blade and moved forward. He wasn't fast, but he wasn't slow either. By his second step, he was already before the old man on the gourd. The old man on the gourd revealed fear in his eyes and was about to retreat. However, just as he was about to retreat, the ancient devil stepped past him and the black blade casually swept by the old man. An unimaginable sharp energy caused the old man's expression to change greatly. Without time to think, the gourd under his feet blocked before him and his right palm hit the gourd. However, just as a spell came from the gourd, the blade flashed by and the gourd made a crackling sound as it split in half. When the old man looked down, he was startled to find that his body was already cut in half. Even his origin soul didn't have time to escape. It was destroyed by that blade while it was still in his body. All of this happened in an instant. Ancient Devil Tajor didn't pause after he passed by the old man on the gourd. The old man's body suddenly collapsed. This scene caused everyone to suck in a breath of cold air. The man in black was filled with even more fear and escaped even faster. Drops of blood dripped from the blade. The ancient devil revealed a hideous expression and then chased after Bei Lu. Bei Lu, back then, I didn't kill you because our ancestors were once the same clan, but since you came looking for death, this devil can only fulfill your wish. Bullshit. Back then we had an agreement that I'd take the body and you'd take the memories. If you hadn't backed out on our deal, that body would have been mine. Bei Lu roared as he retreated. The armored ancient devil revealed a smile of mockery as he held the blade and said, "It was just that I was a bit faster. If I acted later, then our positions would have switched." As he spoke, he held the blade and slashed down at Bei Lu. "Reveal your demon spirit form for this devil." A shockingly large blade appeared in the world. It was like a blade that could split the sky in half. When the ancient devil chopped down, a thunderous rumble could be heard. A ray of blade energy hundreds of thousands of feet long suddenly appeared and mercilessly swept toward Bei Lu, causing his expression to change greatly. The blade was so fast that he didn't have time to dodge before it landed on him. The blade's energy penetrated Bei Lu's body and landed on the ground. A loud rumble came from the collapsing ground as a gully of unknown depth appeared. Bei Lu's body was split in half and collapsed into a pile of flesh and blood. However, as his body collapsed, a green demonic light flew out into the air and immediately turned into an ancient demon that was 1,000 feet tall. This was ancient demon Bei Lu's real body. As soon as he appeared, he retreated at a shocking speed. The ancient devil let out a cold snort and chased after with his blade. As for the others, he doesn't consider them threats at all. Aside from the ancient demon, the only other person he had to pay attention to was the disgusting ancient god aura that he had noticed when he appeared. While he chased Bei Lu, the ancient devil coldly looked at Wang Lin in the distance. Wang Lin was moving as fast as he could to dodge the mad dog-like Master Void, but his speed was still far too slow compared to Master Void's. At this moment of crisis, Wang Lin took out the tattoo clan's with a tattoo and placed it on his body, making his speed immediately reach a peak. "Go to where the palace was. My wife is there." She was awake before Master was possessed, so she must have gotten a message. Wang Wei's voice came from behind Wang Lin. His injuries had completely healed. After speaking, he left Wang Lin and charged at Master Void. Wang Lin immediately changed directions without pausing. He arrived before the collapsed palace in a flash, and with a sweep of his divine sense, he found the unconscious Hu Huan. When he got near Hu Huan, Wang Lin gathered some fire origin energy in his hand and pointed to between her eyebrows without hesitation. The fire origin energy swept through her body and awakened her. "Senior, please quickly open the passage to leave this place." Wang Lin didn't have time to explain and quickly sent a message to Hu Huan when she awakened. After Hu Huan awakened, there was a trace of confusion in her eyes, but she quickly recovered. She got up and both of her hands formed a seal, then she pointed at the sky. A rumble echoed across the sky and then 6 pillars of light came crashing down within 100 feet of Hu Huan. In the distance, Wang Wei's right hand formed a seal, creating a curtain of water that trapped Master Void. Killing intent appeared in his eyes, but this was obviously not the time to fight. He let out a cold snort and then the water trapping Master Void suddenly turned into countless swords and rapidly shrank. Without waiting for the result, Wang Wei immediately appeared next to Hu Huan and Wang Lin. The pillar of light flashed and the three of them immediately disappeared. At the same time, the man in black also arrived in a panic. He charged into the pillars of light and disappeared. Master Void's body was surrounded by water swords. As they stabbed at him, he let out a roar and a storm of yellow soil appeared. There were sounds of collisions as he managed to block the attacks, but he coughed out blood. This made him shiver coldly, and it awakened him from his crazed state. Everything that happened before would have looked incredible to other people. How could he have lost control of his killing intent and attacked at this moment of crisis? If he had been a bit careless, he would have died here. Master Void's eyes were filled with fear and bitterness. His body flickered and he charged directly at the pillars of light. As for the All-Seer, he unexpectedly disappeared, and no one knew where he had gone. Earlier, I noticed that I was losing control of myself, but now I'm certain. I didn't think the first Heaven's Blight would arrive so quickly. Master Void rushed into the pillar of light and disappeared. Ancient demon Bei Lu, who was being chased by the ancient devil, let out angry roars. When he saw that the transfer array to exit this place had opened, he immediately rushed toward it without hesitation. However, just as he got close, the ancient devil chasing him revealed a bloodthirsty gaze. He let go of the blade in his hand and suddenly opened his arms. "Devil devours all spirits." As he shouted, The armor around the ancient devil released boundless black fog, and black fog suddenly filled the world once more. The black fog turned into a giant mount that attempted to ruthlessly devour the escaping Bei Lu. Bei Lu let out a miserable groan before his body collapsed with a bang. Half of his body was devoured, and the remaining half turned into the size of an ordinary person. He then disappeared into the transfer array. The black fog quickly absorbed half of Bei Lu's spirit body. Then the fog wrapped around Ta Jiu and turned into a dragon. It rushed at the transfer array and smashed toward the sky. The sky was smashed open as he charged upwards. None of you can escape. As for Wang Lin and the celestial cloud couple, the three of them immediately appeared in the palace on the 8th floor. Hu Huan quickly said, "When Master talked to me earlier, he only said one sentence. Rain Celestial Realm Temple, Origin Soul Crystal, Qing Shuang's blood." Wang Wei's eyes narrowed. Before he could speak, the man in black and Master Void came from the transfer array. At the same time, ancient demon Bei Lu's miserable spirit body also appeared. Also, at this moment, the ground everyone was standing on collapsed. While the ground collapsed, strands of devilish energy came out from the cracks. When the ground completely collapsed, the dragon formed by devilish energy rushed out. It opened its mouth that could devour the world and attempted to devour everyone. At this instant, Wang Lin was replaying the words Hu Huan just said in his mind. Qing Shuang's blood. Qing Shuang's blood. The moment the devil dragon arrived, Wang Lin slapped his bag of holding and the celestial pagoda appeared. With no time to care about how precious the celestial tower was, Wang hit it with his palm, causing it to collapse, and Qing Shuang's body appeared before him. "I'm sorry." He secretly apologized to Ju Yi. Wang Lin seized all the time he had as he stabbed Qing Shuang's index finger and squeezed out a drop of blood. Then he immediately threw that drop of blood at the devil dragon before them. This insignificant drop of blood was thrown by Wang Lin at the black gas devil dragon that charged out from the collapsed ground. The devil dragon opened its mouth, releasing large amounts of cold energy, and attempted to devour everyone. However, just at this moment, the drop of Qing Shuang's blood touched a strand of black gas that came from the devil dragon. In an instant, while everyone was dumbfounded, sizzling sounds came from the black fog. It was like splashing water on hot coal. As the sizzling sound echoed, the black fog unexpectedly dissipated as if it couldn't withstand this drop of celestial blood. The drop of blood penetrated the black fog and landed on the devil dragon's head. The devil dragon suddenly paused, but that was immediately followed by a painful and angry roar. As it roared, the devil dragon's body twisted and swept the area, causing a loud rumble. As if a giant pair of hands was stirring up the place, all the buildings collapsed and the entire floor was in ruins. Wang Lin's eyes lit up and he squeezed out more of Qing Shuang's blood and mercilessly threw it. Then he waved his hand and the powerful origin energy in his body rushed out. The blood immediately exploded into a blood mist that shot forward. The blood mist immediately touched the devil dragon. After coming into contact the blood again, the devil dragon struggled even more intensely. Roars continued to echo, and the devil dragon's body rapidly contracted. It was like a whirlwind, and after all the black fog withdrew, the ancient devil appeared before everyone. The black armor was now stained with several drops of blood. It released strands of red gas that lingered around the ancient devil. No matter how the ancient devil waved his hands, he couldn't expel it. Even when he tried to wipe it, his hand went through it as if it wasn't even there. "Qing Lin, is this the plan you came up with to resist me after countless years of scheming? If whoever occupies your body attempts to kill your descendant, all spells become useless. Your spells have no effect and your body is restrained by the blood of your descendant. This is no longer changing laws, but creating laws. You're so powerful, Qing Lin." The ancient devil had a hideous expression as he charged at Wang Lin. "This devil wants to see how the mere blood of a body can make me yield," the ancient devil yelled as his right hand reached out. The black blade suddenly appeared in his hand and he slashed at Wang Lin. "I can't kill Qing Lin's descendant, but I can kill you, you puny ancient god." Wang Lin's expression turned pale. This blade energy was huge, and not even the old man on the gourd could escape it. Wang Lin's mind was extremely clear as the ancient god furnace appeared around him, and he pointed at the man in black who was watching from a distance. He didn't choose Master Void because it was a moment of danger, and so he absolutely had to succeed. Although Master Void was seriously injured, he was still at the Nirvana Shatterer stage, so Wang Lin wasn't confident. The man in black's expression changed greatly when he felt a light surround him. The blade energy came so close that Wang Lin could even feel the oppressive sharpness coming from it. "Change positions," Wang Lin yelled, and the light around the furnace reached a peak. The man in black's eyes were filled with terror, and just as he was about to be transferred, he no longer cared about hiding his identity. The fire dragon mark appeared between his eyebrows and directly charged out, turning into a fire dragon covered in flames. The moment the fire dragon appeared, it let out a roar and surrounded the man in black in an attempt to resist the power of the ancient god furnace. As a result, there was a force to resist it. With this hindrance, the blade closed in and passed through Qing Shuang. Due to the law Qing Lin created, the blade energy did no harm to Qing Shuang and landed directly on Wang Lin. If this blade energy landed, even Wang Lin's ancient god body would be split in half. After all, he was only a 5-star ancient god. The moment the blade energy descended, Wang Lin's right eye shined blue and the azure light shield appeared and collided with the blade energy. There was a heaven-shaking bang, and a crack appeared in the middle of the azure light shield. Although it didn't break, it was damaged. Although Wang Lin hadn't had it for long, it had been able to resist all attacks so far. Even someone as powerful as Master Void could only push it back and not cause it to crack. More and more cracks appeared on the azure light shield. Wang Lin took this moment to retreat with Qing Shuang's body, but no matter how much he ran, he couldn't escape the blade energy. Cold sweat came from his forehead, but the moment it appeared, it turned into ice crystals due to the chill from the blade energy. At this moment of life and death, Wang Lin no longer cared about hiding his identity, and he let out a roar. The 5 ancient god stars between his eyebrows shined brightly and rotated until it looked like a vortex had appeared between his eyebrows. Powerful ancient god power filled his body and rushed into the ancient god furnace. This caused the light around the ancient god furnace to become even brighter, and it lit up the entire world. "Transform, change position," Wang Lin roared, his voice even became a bit hoarse during the roar. When it landed in people's ears, they felt as if their minds were being torn. As he let out that heart-wrenching roar, the fire dragon around the man in black seemed unable to withstand the sudden increase in power from the light. The man in black quickly retreated and fled. However, before he could escape, light filled his body and he disappeared. At the moment the azure light shield seemed like it couldn't withstand the blade energy anymore, Wang Lin also disappeared. When Wang Lin reappeared, he was where the man in black was, and the man in black appeared before the blade energy. The moment man in black appeared, his eyes were filled with blade energy and the blade energy swept by. Popping sounds came from his body and then it was split in half. However, when his body shattered, his origin soul escaped with the help of the fire dragon. His origin soul was bleak and his eyes were filled with fear. However, the danger wasn't over yet. The blade energy that destroyed his body shot straight after his origin soul. The blade energy was about to penetrate his origin soul. The man in black quickly spread out a divine sense message filled with anxiety and horror. "Lord Ancient Devil, I'm the Supreme's 7th disciple, Lu Hu." The moment the man in black sent out the message, the blade energy suddenly moved to the side and bypassed the man in black before going after Wang Lin once more. All of this happened in an extremely short period of time. Wang Wei and Hu Huan both moved and used spells at the same time to resist the blade energy chasing Wang Lin. Wang Lin had survived through luck, but he revealed a ferocious expression as he stared at the Ancient Devil. Ancient Devil Ta Jiao stepped out, but he didn't go toward Wang Lin and instead arrived next to the origin soul of Man in Black. After grabbing the origin soul, he stepped out once more and arrived next to Wang Wei and Hu Huan, who were resisting the blade energy. The moment Ancient Devil Ta Jiao closed in, he opened his mouth and let out a roar. Roar. The roars of the people of the Ancient Order were all powerful, but, like spells, they contained different abilities. Although the roar of an ancient devil wasn't as strong as an ancient god's roar, It created a devilish sound that would invade the mind. As he roared, a giant black shadow with a single horn appeared behind ancient devil Tar-Gyo. This giant shadow was like the source of all devils. As Tar-Gyo roared, his shadow also opened its mouth and let out a roar. Hu Huan's body trembled and she immediately coughed out blood. Wang Wei also coughed out blood and became dispirited. However, he clenched his teeth, grabbed Hu Huan, and retreated. His hand formed seals and countless pillars of water appeared before him like crazy. At this moment of crisis, Wang Wei was going all out. The water pillars appeared one after another, and in the blink of an eye, thousands of water pillars appeared. However, before ancient devil Tar-Gyo, this was all child's play. With a roar, all of the water pillars collapsed. As the water pillars continued to collapse, Wang Wei and Hu Huan coughed out more blood, and they charged toward Wang Lin. With a pale face, Hu Huan's hands quickly formed seals, creating restrictions that fused with the water pillars. However, the water pillars continued to collapse due to ancient devil Tar-Gyo's roar. If the two of them were like this, there was no need to talk about Master Void. He immediately coughed out blood and his eyes became bleak. He quickly retreated and his hand formed a seal, causing countless grains of yellow sand to surround him. However, just as the sand appeared and before they could form a shield, it collapsed. All of the sand was blown into Master Void's body, throwing him back and causing blood to spray from his body. Only Bei Lu was barely able to withstand it. As he was a member of the Ancient Order, he only retreated. As for Wang Lin, popping sounds came from his body under power of the roar of ancient devil Tar-Gyo. He coughed out blood, but his expression became even more ferocious. Roar. Wang Lin also let out a roar of anger with a ferocious expression. This was the roar of an ancient god. Wang Lin's body grew like crazy, and at this moment, he could no longer be concerned with hiding his status as an ancient god. His body grew to thousands of feet tall, looking as if he could support the world. 5 stars rapidly rotated between his eyebrows and bursts of ancient god energy surrounded him. What was more bizarre was that the vermilion bird tattoo seemed to have fused with him, so it grew along with his ancient god body. It was like fresh blood had imprinted on his upper body, and the tail spread across Wang Lin's face. At this moment, Wang Lin looked like an ancient god and a vermilion bird. After transforming into his true ancient god body, Wang Lin let out a roar. The roar formed a storm that silently collided with the roar of the ancient devil. At the same time, the escaping ancient demon Bei Lu suddenly stopped, and his eyes revealed a trace of crazy demonic light. Today, all 3 ancient order clans are in the same place. What a spectacular view. I'm in a sorry state for an ancient demon. Bei Lu's body flashed and immediately grew. The 7-star ancient demon's body was thousands of feet tall, almost as tall as Wang Lin's ancient god body. At this instant, the battle no longer belonged to the cultivators, but to the 3 ancient order clans that had existed since ancient times. After Bei Lu transformed into his ancient demon body, he let out the roar of an ancient demon. It created an intangible force that joined with Wang Lin's roar and swept toward ancient devil Tar-Gyo. He is unexpectedly a royal ancient god. Ancient devil Tar-Gyo stared at Wang Lin. He clearly saw a trace of gold within the 5 stars between Wang Lin's eyebrows. This trace of gold meant the royal bloodline. The angry roars of the 3 ancient order clans created an indescribable storm. It swept across the 8th floor and caused all the surrounding buildings to collapse. Even the sky seemed like it was about to collapse, as fine cracks appeared and bursts of hot gas filled the area. Ancient demon Bei Lu took a step and shouted, "Ancient god, do you dare to fight this ancient devil with me?" Wang Lin's right hand reached out at the void before him, causing a large rift to appear. Purple lightning came out of the crack, and he dragged out the 1,000 feet long god-slaying spear. He grabbed the spear and shouted, "Why would I not dare?" Ancient demon Bei Lu laughed as his right hand also reached at the void. A large flag immediately appeared, and it seemed to cover the world. It flew directly at the ancient devil. Wang Lin took a step and charged at the ancient devil. The ancient devil's eyes revealed mockery as he raised the blade in his hand. Monstrous blade energy appeared behind him and he smiled. "A mere 5-star ancient god and a 7-star ancient demon dare to fight me? As he laughed, the heaven-shaking blade energy shot forward. There were only 2 rays of blade energy. One swept through the sky and the other swept just above the earth. This represented the sky and the earth. Once they crossed, they would create a destructive force. Ancient demon Bei Lu waved his right hand and endless demonic energy came from the 1,000-foot flag and shot at the blade energy in the sky. Demonic energy erupted from his body, and it was an earth-shaking sight to behold. Wang Lin threw the god-slaying spear in his hand, and the purple lightning filled the world. The god-slaying spear was covered in purple lightning when it collided with the blade energy on the ground. Rumbling sounds suddenly echoed and a powerful shockwave to sweep the area when the blade energy on the ground and the god-slaying spear collided. The earth completely collapsed and there was no longer a 9th floor in his cave, just the 8th floor that was connected to the 9th floor. Wang Lin's ancient god boy felt an unimaginable impact during this collision, and popping sounds came from his body. He coughed out a mouthful of blood and the ancient god stars between his eyebrows dimmed. In the sky, the ancient demon's flag collided with the blade energy and a shocking impact spread. Even more cracks appeared in the sky due to this impact, and a blood-red light came through the cracks. At this moment, it felt as if the sky could collapse with a single touch. Wang Lin, we need to go all out with him. Otherwise, none of us will escape this celestial emperor cave. As ancient demon Bei Lu roared, he took a step and charged at the ancient devil. However, his body suddenly began to retreat. It was so fast that he left an afterimage, and he rushed at the cracked sky. However, although ancient demon Bei Lu was fast, Wang Lin was even faster. The moment ancient demon Bei Lu roared, Wang Lin also grabbed Wang Wei and Hu Huan before charging at the sky. He was a bit faster than Bei Lu as he punched the sky. The sky was already extremely fragile, and now it was smashed open by Wang Lin's punch. It completely cracked and the sky disintegrated. The moment the sky collapsed, endless magma fell like rain. Wang Lin's body rushed into the magma and charged straight up. The ancient devil cursed, but he didn't slow down and charged straight up. Master Void had cultivated for many years. Although his mind was affected due to the early arrival of the first Heaven's Blight, it was unprecedentedly clear at this moment. The moment the sky collapsed, he coughed out blood and used the blood escape to charge into the magma. He disregarded the high temperature of the magma and the newly inflicted injuries caused by the battle between the 3 members of the Ancient Order clan. As he rushed into the magma, he also didn't have time to think about finding trouble for Wang Lin, as he was focused on escaping this place. Along the way, his injuries became worse, and at this moment, his cultivation level fell from Nirvana Shatterer to peak Nirvana Cleanser. A dense feeling of unease enveloped his mind, making the once powerful Master Void look like a stray god. When Wang Lin charged into the 7th floor, endless lava rushed toward his face. His body quickly shrank back into his ordinary body. His face was pale as he coughed out a mouthful of blood and bursts of pain came from his body. He couldn't help but slow down a bit due to this. Even though he had transformed into his ancient god body, he was still seriously injured by that blade energy despite the fact that he had the god-slaying spear. However, if he hadn't done it, then it would have been impossible for Wang Wei or Hu Huan to escape. Even he himself wouldn't have had the chance to escape to the 7th floor. After all, Wang Lin was only at the peak of the Nirvana Scryer stage. Just at this moment, Hu Huan grabbed Wang Lin and Wang Wei and flew straight up. She also devoured the only green pill she had. Now that she had recovered, she quickly moved through the magma with Wang Lin and Wang Wei. The magma continued to move into Wang Lin's body and shook his spirit a bit. He quickly sent out a message, saying, "Seniors, go first. I found a fire spirit here before and may be able to use it to stop the ancient devil a bit." Hu Huan revealed a hint of hesitation. If it was before, no matter how much she and Wang Wei admired Wang Lin, she wouldn't have hesitated. However, Wang Lin had just saved her and her husband, and this was very important to her. She didn't even know that Wang Lin had saved Wang Wei from Master Void's sneak attack. This kind of kindness needed to be repaid. "You." Hu Huan looked at Wang Wei, who had helped her block the blade energy and then was seriously injured by the ancient devil's roar. There was struggle in her eyes. Right now, Wang Wei needed urgent care, and Hu Huan didn't have time to wait. Senior can rest assured. Wang Lin left Hu Huan and charged into the depths of the magma in the 7th floor. Hu Huan clenched her teeth as she took Wang Wei and disappeared. After Hu Huan left, Wang Lin's eyes lit up. He was so desperate to make Wang Wei and Hu Huan owe him. As long as the two of them were grateful, then even if Qing Lin doesn't awaken, they would help with Sichunan's matter. Also, their treatment of Ju Yi would be vastly different due to his kindness. Inside the magma, Wang Lin mercilessly absorbed without hesitation. The magma seemed to flow in reverse as the fire origin energy entered Wang Lin's body like crazy. The energy flowed through his meridians, causing his seriously injured body to recover a bit. Wang Lin wasn't being careful like he was when he absorbing before. Right now he was extremely reckless. The vermilion bird on his body appeared around him, and as a result, the fire origin energy inside the magma surged at them. As the fire origin energy surged toward Wang Lin, large amounts of magma fell from the 7th floor to the 8th floor. Ancient Demon Bei Lu and Master Void charged into the magma with Ancient Devil Ta Jiao chasing behind. At this moment, all of this, along with Wang Lin frantically stirring up the fire origin energy in the magma, caused all the magma inside the volcano to begin collapsing. Just at this moment, a heaven-shaking roar that shook the magma came from the depths of the volcano. A giant dragon head arose in the magma. At this moment, all of the magma Wang Lin hadn't absorbed or had fallen into the 8th floor began to move as if it had intelligence. It all charged at the dragon. In the blink of an eye, all the magma in the 7th floor disappeared, leaving behind an indescribably large fire dragon that stared at all the creatures below it. At the same time, in the boundless space where the speck of dust where the demon spirit land was, there was fire burning in the horizon. A giant vermilion bird letting out vermilion bird cries slowly closed in. This vermilion bird had intelligence. It unexpectedly didn't go to the entrance at the East Demon Spirit Sea, but to the true location of the Demon Spirit Land. There were large amount of cultivators behind this vermilion bird, and among them were 6 elders. These 6 elders all wore red robes, and each one of them gave off a powerful aura. They were all Nirvana Shatterer cultivators. According to the search with the true spirit, this is where the person who has awakened is, and this is also the location of that mysterious sense of danger. This trip might be extremely dangerous, but even if I risk it all, I must protect the person who awakened. The 6 elders looked at each other and saw the determination in each other's eyes. All the other members of the Vermilion Bird Divine sect revealed determined gazes. At the same time, a majestic voice came from the planet above the vortex in the Cultivation Alliance headquarters. Suspend the battle with all heaven. Send all forces to where Qing Lin's cave is. The moment this voice echoed, Qing Shui's body appeared outside the Alliance headquarters. He stared at the Alliance headquarters and the red G realm shined in his eye. This video will end here.